So just sit with me and just meditate. Ah, ah, ooh, ooh, mm. Aum, aum, aum. How quickly can I enter into a tranquility state? How much thinking do I have to do? It's kind of like a four-step dance, isn't it? Greetings, Shalimar. Greetings, Reboir, Ishmael. Greetings, Mary. Why, Mary? I think everybody else can hear me now. Check your headphones. And Om, Om, Om. What's the secret to tranquility? It's literally the in between pauses we do, right? So if I take an in breath and I hold my thoughts there, hello, Mary Magdalene, hello, Mukta, hello, Wesley, hello, Bhanumati, Doc Haranji, welcome everyone. Take a deep breath and just hold it for a second. And in that holding, the body comes to rest. And when you let the breath out and you hold it out, in the holding, the mind comes to rest. And in between those two, the heart opens. So first I rest the body, ah, open the heart center, ooh, relax and calm my mind down, and then I go to that awareness state in the silence after that, right? And that feeling is a kind of silence that is so beautiful. You ever felt that silence where it's just so beautiful, right? A kind of beautiful tranquility. Hello, Nancy. A beautiful, just no agitation in the body, no pain, no suffering, nothing. No thoughts, no planning, no mind, no to dos, no thoughts, no future, no past, just here. And you just feel a tranquility in your heart, right? Isn't that what we're seeking? Tranquility. Isn't that what this code and this effort and this work is all about? These live talks that I'm doing now are completely ex tempo. That means no script, no presentation, no big concept, just ramble, 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 ramble. And in the rambling, who knows, some nuggets of wisdom might come out, some good questions might come out. Who knows, right? Who knows what might come out? When I started this work, it started, earnestly, I started in 1998. And when I started this work, come, get your cups of coffee and tea and sit with me. We'll just sit and relax. When I started this work back in 98, I didn't have a religious bone in my body. Hello, Udit. Welcome. I didn't have a religious bone in my body. I wasn't looking for God. I wasn't looking for the divine to come and reveal itself to me. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't. I was looking for the best potential version of me, because I somehow knew that this body, this mind, was just what I was given biologically by my parents. Hello, Jitin. Hello, Ritu. Hello, Udit. Welcome. This body, this mind, these were given to me by my genes, by my family, by my whatever genetic history, karma, whatever you want to call it. They were given to me. And then through childhood, through growing up, I tried to make the most of it, studying. I wasn't a very physical person when I was young, but I got physical later. I took up martial arts. And I realized that one can overcome one's inheritance. One can overcome one's gifts that your parents have given you. Hello, Perry. Hello, Preetham. I'm fine, thank you. All well now. Hello, Jitin. And I realized that I could push myself, that push the boundary a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until a breakthrough would occur. And suddenly my consciousness would alter. And I would not be the same person I was just a week before. And this consciousness breakthroughs would keep occurring. So I do it with Aikido and martial arts. I do it with, hello, Coach Mitali. Hello, Swami Ji, Taponidhi. Welcome. Good to have you here again. The I would push it to the boundaries, right? And then just at the moment when you're about to give up and stop, you something pushes you over to the and a new door opens. And when I realized that I could put my body physically like that through the martial arts, I could push my body through meditation, I could really push myself, I began to play with this. And this was back in 98. I started to really play with it. And it also helped that at that time I did some psychedelics, and that gave me visions of where I could go. But I knew that the real path of it was an inner path. So I studied Kundalini, I studied Kriyas, I studied Tantra, I studied everything I could. And I'm still studying. But what emerged for me was a kind of code. And I don't want to tell you that I now believe in God or I am a religious Hindu. No. I realized a few things that I wanted to share with you. One, hi Ravi, that one, I am not limited by my body and my mind. My consciousness can expand and expand and expand. That was the first big realization, that I'm not limited. Second, that whatever I can't understand or can't perceive or can't experience is mysterious. And so, therefore, is beyond my imagination, but I can imagine it a little bit. And so, Neville Goddard, the great philosopher of the 20s, said that God is the extent of my imagination. That means wherever I can't go beyond in my thinking, that must be God. So even just think about it. 100 years ago, we didn't have the telescopes to see clearly. So we could see the planets, we could see the solar systems, and we thought there were stars beyond. Then we started getting stronger telescopes and we realized that the stars were now galaxies. And then we realized that there were billions of galaxies and billions of stars, right? And so, did the universe come into being for our advanced perception, or was it always there and we just couldn't see? Think about that for a second. Just pause for a second, all you're thinking, and just think, is everything around me created just for me? Or is it all there and I am not conscious of it until I turn it on and I can turn my consciousness on? What do you think? Did the universe come into being just for me? So when I'm asleep, does the universe exist? Does it have anything happening? Or because I'm not conscious of it, does it really matter that the universe seems to keep going and others can perceive it, others can be conscious of it, others experience it? And then when I am awake and I see the universe that you are seeing, are we seeing the same universe? Hello, Mishroom. Hello, Nitin. Yes, let's carry. Let's explore this point, Nitin, which is that if I take you and we go to a beautiful place, let's say we go to New York City and we see all the skyscrapers and we see all the buildings in the sky, will you and I see exactly the same thing? Or will we observe different facets of that perceived reality? Maybe I'll perceive the architecture and the geometry, and you will perceive the glass and the steel and the reflections. Who knows, right? We will not perceive the same thing. That means that at that very instant you and I are looking at anything, there are two realities, yours and mine. That's effed up, isn't it? Different colors. What if I'm colorblind? I can't see any colors. Different senses, the smells. I might smell the city and remember petrol and diesel and love it. And you might smell the city and stink of all garbage and crap and think it's horrible, right? So our minds, exactly, would create our alternative realities of what we are seeing. So if that is the case, and everybody has a different perception of reality, right? That means that we have, let's say there are 7.5 billion people in the world, 7.5 billion alternate realities going on. And that doesn't count all the animals that are perceiving reality, all the beings. Okay, so we might draw some consensus. We might say, all right, when the sun appears to rise in the morning, we all see the sunrise, right? We all see the sunrise. But you and I will see different sunrise. I will see the sunrise and maybe I'll go Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tats and I'll pray to it. You will see the sunrise and think, oh, it's beautiful orange. Or another person will see the sunrise and say, oh, time to wake up. Or another person will sunrise and say, oh man, close the curtains. I need to sleep for a couple more hours, right? So yes, Udit, you're correct. But that sounds metaphysical, doesn't it? That the drop of water thinks it is the ocean, but and it's created from that ocean, and it's a fractal of its reality. Beautifully put. But what does that mean? Let's go into that a little bit more. So, therefore, the philosopher will argue that all these 7.5 billion perceptions are illusions, right? They are a perception of the ultimate reality, but nobody can define it clearly, exactly as it is. Nobody. Like the six blind men and the elephant, right? Nobody can perceive the elephant completely. Some will say it's like a tree, some will say it's like a spear, some will say it's like a thing, right? So I am, yes, you're correct, Swami ji, that we are conditioned by our education, by our perception, by our culture, by our gender, by our stomach, by our digestion, by our sexuality, to see reality in different ways, in different. Even I can't perceive reality the same way from day to day. If I wake up this morning with a headache and a stomach ache, is reality going to look beautiful? No. If I wake up and I'm feeling wonderful, then I get up and I look at the sunrise, I feel great. Life, beautiful. I don't think we're unconscious, Swamiji. I think we are subject to Maya, to this play of consciousness. So that means no two. So let's look at it again. No two people's consciousness are the same. My own consciousness varies by time of day and mood and feeling and state of condition of my mind. So even this table that I'm looking at, or this microphone, right? Unless I look at it, does it really exist? And how is it transmitting sound to you? So that means there seems to be an underlying reality that comes into being as needed by our consciousness. Sounds like the Matrix, right? That's like a massive computer program, and you're just a multiplayer in the game. So Pritam is asking, sir, tell me something. There are many sadhaks who are telling this is last stage going on. Kali Lord Kalki is here. Pritam, are you alive? Are you breathing? Are you doing good in the world? Are you conscious? Focus on that. Don't worry about which yug you're in. The world will come and go. The universe will come and go. We're just passing through. So live well. Don't worry about that kind of crap. Kali Yugs and all are cycles of time which astronomers and people have been trying to predict for thousands of years, and is based on the precession of the equinoxes. So go and study the science behind the precession that leads to the cycles that we believe affect earth changes and human changes. Go study. And don't only study Swami C. Yukteswar and others. Go and study a book you must read if you want to understand why mankind is obsessed with the cycles of time. Is a book called Hamlet's Mill. Hamlet's Mill. It's a very dense book, but it's worth reading. Or you can watch a video about it on YouTube on Hamlet's Mill about what is called the precession of the equinoxes. You should read that. About how the Earth's wobble creates our shift in geomagnetic and perception of the whole universe, right? So Wesley says, Mishroom says, my dog is staring out the window at the edge of my bed. Squirrels? That's your dog's reality. There is a squirrel out there. I don't know if we're all Kaliki. We are inside the womb of the Hiranya Garbha of Kaliki. We are not Kaliki unless we are aware of Kaliki. Hello, everyone. Hello, Joycey. Hello, Mishroom. Hello, Des, Evan. So we just exercise consciousness? No. We are receivers and transmitters of consciousness, right? We perceive and we manufacture consciousness somehow from all this wonderful reality. And then we also transmit it and affect other people's lives with our consciousness, don't we? Every word I say, everything I do, you're all listening to me right now. I'm affecting your consciousness. So therefore, I'm affecting consciousness, right? Every one of us. Hamlet's Mill. Thank you, Dermot. So there are many philosophical theories about that consciousness, right? What happens to it after death? What happens to it when you meditate? What happens to it when you stop participating and become still? What happens to it? But really speaking, do you ever become still? You kind of on an earth spinning at thousands of miles an hour around the sun at thousands of miles an hour through a galaxy at thousands of miles an hour. Your body is racing with electromagnetic signals and blood flow and breath and oxygen. When are you still? There's no chance of being still in this moving universe, right? Not possible. So, on top of everything else, every moment that we perceive is relative. That means this moment, I have moved to the next breath, I have moved a few hundred miles. The earth spinning through the sun, and we're moving through space, catapulting. And I thought I was over there, but I'm over here now, and I'm over there now, and I'm over there now. So I'm not even in the same place anymore. Just because you woke up in your bed doesn't mean that bed is in the same place, in the same universe, anytime, anywhere. Mind boggling, isn't it? So Swami Tapanandi says, correct. This is what avidya means, ignorance. This is what the Vedanta talks about in avidya. So the Vedanta, which is the absolute fount of all Indian wisdom, that from which everything else has come out, right? The Vedanta says, Upanishads in particular, says that the cause of all my consciousness, suffering, pain is avidya, is ignorance of who I really am, right? That so at the other end is vidya, which is that I am essentially immortal consciousness and mind and light of the universe. I am that Brahman. I am Tattvam Asi. But why am I ignorant of that? Right? Physical death is a perception because consciousness may or may not continue. We don't know unless we explore deeper and see, does consciousness continue? There is no real evidence for it except for anecdotal and spiritual and other evidences that we see. So, but let's go back to Vedanta. What Vedanta says is that the reason we have avidya is very simple, is because of karma. Karma means causality, that everything I do, think, say has an effect. So then Vedanta says that everything you do, everything you think, everything you say comes from one simple issue. And they call it ichcha, desire. All right. Buddhism says the same thing, right? So what is it we desire? I mean, just desiring to wake up in the morning, just desiring to be alive, desiring something you want to consume, desiring your mother's breast for milk, desiring food, desiring love, desiring knowledge. I mean, God, endless desires every day of our lives. Every single one of you is desiring something right now. Have you thought about it? And the moment you have desire, any action or thought or words you say will try to fulfill that desire, will give you luggage, karma. Some of it bad karma, some of it good karma. So if I do good in the world, I get good karma, but I'm still getting karma. If I do bad in the world, I accumulate negative energies, tamasic energy. I get all kinds of trouble and agitation and problems. So even that is a balancing act of what kind of karma I want to get. So then the philosopher says, well, try and do good so you get good karma. Now remember, the entire universe is a construct of my perception. Remember that? Right? So therefore, if I think I do good, then I'm perceiving the benefit of that in my universe. The day feels better, my health feels better, I feel more loving and kind, I feel more forgiving and graceful. And so therefore I feel better, and that becomes my karma, right? So the ultimate purpose of what is called moksha or mukti or liberation means to be completely karma free. Right? That means completely free of any attachment to this perceived reality that I have manufacturing every day. So think about it. I perceive even my love affair with the sunrise makes me feel good. Think of how many times I use the word me. my perception, me feel good, karma. But good karma, because when I feel good, I go and do kind things. I say kind things to other people. I do kindness in the world, right? So my manufactured reality becomes better. So later on, through the practices of yoga and tantra, we find different codes emerged. Codes to find your way to that infinite awareness of your universal nature, right? That you are not space time, you are not Kalike, you are not this world, you are everything, that universal thinking. And then, but I begin at earth as body, right? So if I want liberation, there are two ways I can do it according to Vedanta, Tantra, all of them. One says that just sit still and recognize yourself, that you are that consciousness behind the whole universe, not this little puny human being on a little puny planet on the tail end of a puny solar system and a puny galaxy in the puny universe. You're not that little person. You are this vast mind of the whole universe. In Kashmir Shaivism, they call it Pratyavigna, right? In Vedanta, they call it Vairagya, right? That means that knowledge that I am that vast, wonderful consciousness. So therefore, I'm not the body, I'm not the death, I'm not anything, I'm not that. So that process, which we can call Gyan Yoga, is just to realize through contemplation and exploration who I am. Right? This is the path of Ramana Maharishi or all of those great teachers, Ramakrishna. This Vairagya, I am not this body, I am that consciousness, I am not this. So that's the first part of the code. The first part of the code is do nothing, just sit and realize that you are everything. That's too difficult. How many of us can do that? None. No matter how much Om meditation, then we go back and we start chanting Om, and then we maybe realize it. And so the Mandukya Upanishad says, chant Om. Okay, good. Then the Shakti Tantra starts saying, well, no, that's not enough. Let's activate all the divine energies inside our body and call them Shaktis and energy. And that gives us goddesses and gods and devas and lights and asuras. And we're going to develop a complete cosmos and travel through that cosmos to get to that infinite light, right? So the second stage is that the yogi says, no, I'm going to sit still, but I'm going to teach my body and my mind to calm down and be still, right? Sadhana, meditation, dhyana. So that is called Raja Yoga or sitting in meditation, dhyana. And then I observe the Turiya state and then I go into Samadhi, and that's the ultimate liberation. So I can physically do it with my body and my breathing and my pranayama and my breathing, right? Buddhism was based on this. Tremendous yogis, right? Serious willpower. The third stage is this is not for me, all this hard work, but I realize that that divine that I'm seeking and me are the same, but I need help. Right? And so I turn to a god or a goddess or a saint or a guru, and I do devotion and I pray and I meditate, right? That's bhakti. So chanting mantras, that's bhakti. Surrendering my heart, singing kirtans, doing mantras, praying in temples, meditating on the Guru, Shakti path. These are all the paths of the bhakti, right? Of surrender, of devotion, right? So if I can't do it and I can't meditate and I can't sit and contemplate who I am, I go backwards to bhakti, right? So bhakti is called anupaya, which means anavapaya, which means the path of the atom, the path of the little creature, the dwarf. It's okay. It's not a bad path. It's a good path. And maybe I can't even do that. So let me just try and do good in the world, right? Let me do all my actions are to just realize my true self. So the work I do, the people I feed, the love I give, every experience I have, I give to that divine gift. That's karma. Yeah, karma yoga. So in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Vedanta, they talk about these four yogas, right? The four yogas. So most of us, especially seekers like us, will try all four paths. Little bits, like a barometer, you know. Today I'll meditate for half an hour in the morning. Then at the end of the week, I'll go and do some charitable seva work and give some benefit to other people. That's karma. In the work I do, I'll surrender it to the divine. That's karma. I will do bhakti. I'll go once a week to the temple and sit with Swamiji and listen to the satsang. I will go and listen to wise people. I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll listen to Raja. That's my kind of, jnana yoga and contemplation of all these things. I'll practice pranayama and do the mantras. That's my Raja Yoga. I'll do the mantras and I'll chant and I'll sing. That's my bhakti. Okay, I can mix it up like a DJ mixing it up. Right? So Reboir says the same thing. Correct. But surrendering to an unseen, unknowing God is just as ridiculous because you have to believe. See, the problem with belief is that normally beliefs come from two things. One is experience of the divine, or somebody telling you there's a divine to worship. Bend down, pray, right? That's fucked up, man. I want to experience the divine. I want to experience the divine in my life. So if I want to experience the divine, no one can tell me how to do it. They can guide me in a path that I can try, right? Or they can tell me about the code they figured out. Like if you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you will find God. Oh, thank you, Guruji. Now piss off. Go into the labyrinth and get lost in it and become the minotaur and become a bull and break the labyrinth walls and then shatter it all and go get yourself liberated. That's the secret. So, intellectually, I'm most drawn to the Vairagya path. Yes, but it's hard. I can't stay detached all day. I have to be attached to this world and this body. I want to be attached. But then I don't want to be too attached so that I get sick and ill and distracted by it and only want to fulfill sexual or hunger needs all the time. No, I want to be balanced. Right? So I have to balance the four yogas. In Kashmir Shaivism, the four yogas are called Anavopaya, Shaktopaya, Sambhavopaya, and Anopaya. Right? What does that mean? That means Anavopaya is the path. Upaya means path, and Anavo means the path of the atom, the little being. So the little being does bhakti, mantra, tantra, all the things that help you, pranayama, yoga, all that. And that helps you connect over and over again to that higher state of consciousness. Bending to pray, praying, sitting there in puja, doing 5 times a day zikr, whatever you're going to do, meditating 10 hours a day. These are all techniques. The second technique is inner contemplation and meditation, dhyana, which is called Shaktopaya, which is to use the mantras to enter into a state of inner consciousness and not beyond your breath, beyond your thought, and just focus. That's a little more advanced. The third path is called Sambhavopaya. That means I sit there in my meditation and I look out and I see that I am like that being over there. I am like that tree. I am that flower. So I see not me, but Shiva maybe, or Allah, or Yahweh in the beings around me. Vasudeva, Shiva, Shakti. I see them in everybody. So I recognize the divine in everybody. That is called Sambhavopaya. And there's a Sambhavi Mudra, when you look upwards with your eyes slightly open and you blur and the whole world blurs, that state of consciousness of blurring everything and seeing the divine in everything. Sambhavopaya. So many teachers teach that as a primary objective. Sambhavi Mudra, Shambho, all those techniques. That's not the end technique. The end technique in Kashmir Shaivism is called Anupaya or Pratyabhigna. And Pratyabhigna means self-recognition. That means sitting here, the ultimate Gyan Yogi, sitting here, I know I am Shiva. I am the universal mind. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, no places to visit, no pujas to do, nothing. I sit in that divine consciousness of knowledge, of self-knowledge, awareness, Anupaya. That means know me. That means Anupaya means know me. The path of know me. That means I have vanished. And then I become the universal being, Shiva, Brahman, whatever you want to call it. The observer, the one who watches. So what did we discover? And what the tantrics did, what the yogis did, what the Nath Sampradaya did was develop codes to do this, right? Just like in China, we have qigong and martial arts and codes to get you to that stillness, to that, you know. So one of the most popular parts in India and around the world is yoga. Sit, do the 8 Ashtanga path, do yam, nyam, pratyahara, asana, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all those things, right? 8 stages to stilling the body, stilling the mind, becoming, and then achieving kaivalya. Then in other forms, you have puja, bhakti. Take Dhak Shakti path from a guru and wake up. Okay, fine, all good. But what the Nath Sampradaya did and other teachings did was to combine many of these things into what was called kaula, into different ways of doing it, which were practiced by Ramakrishna and others, including Ramana Maharshi, which is Tripura Rahasya, which said that the body is 3 temples, right? Tripura Rahasya. Tripura, 3 cities in the body, 3 cities. The 3 cities could be called Jagrat, awakening, wake up, waking, dreaming, Sapna, Shushupti, sleeping, deep sleep, meditation, and then Turiya, the 4th state of consciousness, then 5th state being Turiya Tita or Samadhi, right? So the first state. So if I was to boil down the code, the master code that I have discovered that has changed my life, which is I've been like Abhinav Gupta, like a bee going from flower to flower, picking up different bits of honey from all kinds of teachers, bringing it into my own heart, in the honeypot of bliss in my heart, and becoming my own guru. That's what I want for all of you too. All right? That's the correct upayas. Those are the 4 upayas. So, if I want that state of consciousness, what I want for all of you is that let me tell you the code I have discovered, which we can use. I'm going to use English to help you understand it. Right? The entire universe is a dancing, energetic universe of consciousness and energy dancing. We call it Spanda. Spanda, Spanda. That vibrating universe is the dance of Shiva and Shakti, the cosmic dance of consciousness and energy going on all the time. It can be called Purush and Prakriti. It is the dance, the great dance, Radha Krishna, the Leela, the dance. All of this is the dance coming into form. That means that my consciousness perceives the dance in my way, just like your consciousness perceives the dance in your own way. Remember, we talked about it earlier? Each of us perceives it a little differently. But we see that, we can feel that, intuitively understand that dance, that Leela. So the way it comes into us is as prana and jiva, and we want to bring that energy, prana, into us. So you will always see that the greatest yogis, the greatest practitioners are super strong and fit and healthy, not weak, miserable, falling apart. You want to be energetic. How do I do that? I increase my prana. I look at the sun. I walk in nature. I do hatha yoga. I do tai chi, qigong. I bring energy in, right? Energy. Code number one, bring energy in. Code number two, control the energy inside your body. So this can be called Kriya Yoga or Pranayama or Qigong or whatever you want to do. You're moving the energy through the Nadi system, through the subtle system, and you're learning to move it up the Kundalini code, up the spinal cord, and you become vital. And you learn to open your third eye, your heart. And the three worlds open, the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. They open for you. The body becomes a temple of energy and bliss. As you raise it from controlling your body, first you control the body, mastery over your body, shutting down, calming down, heart rate variability, bringing the breath down. Then you move to the heart, and your emotional well being comes into being. You release better serotonin on demand, dopamine, everything feels better. That's your middle heart center, your second sun. Then your third sun, you go up to your brain and you shut the brain down, you calm down, tranquility, and that opens your third eye and you begin to perceive other realities. And then once you get past that third state of consciousness, you enter the fourth state of consciousness, which can be called awareness, which is the mastery of everything. I become aware. I'm an observer watching myself from inside, watching everything before I say it, so I don't create karma, before I do it, before I breathe, before I eat. Everything is observed without judgment. That fourth state of consciousness. I become a master of my consciousness. Then the fifth state, I return it all to my heart, and the divine bliss pours through me into my heart, and that gives me ananda, that mastery of just bliss, consciousness, feeling good. And then from the heart, through the 12 petal lotus of the Anahata or the Hridaya, I act in the world through my body and my mind and my words. That's mastery of your life, right? I'm just describing it, Anupriya. Listen carefully. This is your path. Each one of the things you learn will be different teachings along that path, but you've got to follow this path. So, the master code, as far as I can see, is in order for me to have liberation, I have to seek divine happiness and bliss in my life. And that means learning to detach my mind, my body, and my emotions from obsessive compulsive behavior into a tranquility samatha state of balance, and then opening my third eye and perceiving that divine consciousness coming into me. And then, so if I describe that as a process, then I go to the exact same thing I proposed at the beginning, which is I want to sit still and just observe that I am the universal being. So all that work just to get back to where we wanted to start in the first place, to just realize I'm divine. So what I'm going to do is there's, if you go to the kundalinicode.com, you can study the body and the mind part of it with me. And in May, I'll be starting a new program called the Master Code. a 7 month program that you can do once you've done the Kundalini Code or any of the shift courses. Once you've done that, you can join me. That means we will meet 3 times a month, and we'll also meet live in December and January. So anybody wants to do it, we sign up at 1000sunsacademy.com for more information, or do the Kundalini Code and just sign up. And if you don't want to do it, keep tuned here. I'll keep talking about this every week, and we'll explore it together. But that is the code that I have discovered, and I want to share it with you. And I'm a student, as you can see, of many esoteric traditions. I have no one guru, except I have many gurus, and the gurus have taught me many things. And now I'm evolving into. So when somebody has no guru, the only guru they need is Dakshinacharya, the form of Shiva, who sits with the Himalayas behind him and is the ultimate consciousness. That's it. You don't need any other guru. So the Kundalini Code is your first step in this dance. Do that course, and then in May you will receive an email once you've done it to join the Master Code, and that will give you a 7 month program of intense, heavy study with me. And if you want to do it, sign up now. If you don't want to do it, don't worry. Come to YouTube and hang out with me. All right. So, anybody want to ask any questions? Right now is a good time, or talk to me. Right. And love to all of you. So many of you. We've got already 76 people, 78 people here. Cheers. The Bij mantra of Dakshina Murti is Om Namah Shivaya. That's it. When your third eye opens, it becomes Om Harim Hom Namah Shivaya. Om Reem Hom Namah Shivaya. Om Reem Hom Namah Shivaya. Om Reem Hom Namah Shivaya. And then there are many beautiful Shiva mantras that one can do to enter the Shiva lokas, like Om Lingastakam Idam Punyam Yahapate Shiva Sannido Shiva Lokam Avapanoti Shivena Sahamodate. Open up to the heavens of Shiva that go behind Dakshinamurti into the heavens. In the work I do, you can also devote yourself to Ardhanarishwara, which is the half male, half female form of Shiva and Shakti that sits above your head in the Brahmand here. And you have 2 feet, one male, one female. That's much better, because then you get Shiva and Shakti both. I like Shiva and Shakti both. I like Shakti in the body, so I'm fully alive with my Kundalini, and then Shiva in the vast consciousness. And then the dance occurs. Nancy says, Arlene says, yes, can you help me with divine will versus our will? Are we not supposed to desire anything? No. If you don't desire anything, you won't wake up in the morning. You have to have desire. But have desire for expanded consciousness, for superpowers, for your own siddhis. Have desire for bigger things. Don't limit your desires to silly things. Get bigger in yourself, what you desire. Make your desires beautiful. Nancy says, lately I've been feeling a sense of loneliness. How can I deal with it? Come, I give you a hug. There, it's gone. Esther says, sending love from Romania. Thank you. Amazing session. Anupriya says, please record some mantras in your voice. Simply hypnotic. Come, join the program. You take the chance. Join the program. It's not expensive. It's a couple of $100 for a whole program, and you just do it. Just do it. It's not expensive. We have a lot of costs, and that's why we do it this way. Otherwise, I wish I could just give it all away free. But we have to pay people. Is it safe for anyone to open the third eye? Yes. Shiva Shakti. Yes, my favorite. Shiva, dance of Shiva and Shakti. Enjoyed your disco. Thank you, Georgina. Supriya Roy, Namaha. And big hug. Yes, Mishroom, big hugs. Aishik Chatterjee says, Khub bhalo laglo, apnake course korar khub ichha ache. বাট কোর্স ফিটা বেশি তারও টাকা নিজেই আসবে যদি মা লক্ষ্মীর সঙ্গে কথা বলবে, ঠিক আছে? নিজেই আসবে। আমরা স্কলারশিপও দেবো, কিন্তু তোমাকে ট্রাই করতে হবে আগে। হুম। I finished the Kundalini code, so yes, you are eligible for the master code. The course I've been installing the practice. Is there a way to create and stick to the? Yes, wake up every morning and just do it. 44-day challenge to yourself at the end of the Kundalini code. Oma says, my third eye seems to be opening oh so slowly. How to speed it up? Now you have to come and do the course. Okay. Thank you. Out of curiosity, I want to share. Reboir says that I have experienced a guru in my dreams. What's your thought on non-physical manifestation of a guru? Yes, because the non-physical manifestation, whether in vision or in dreams, are an in-between state of being before you meet your absolute divine self, which is you. But so that in-between being will be a teacher of some kind, and then they will also move out of the way and liberate you to move further. Right. I hope to break free, so help me, God. Thank you. You don't need God. You just need to break free. Right. Um, how to apply for scholarship? Just first, don't. You have enough money to do this. Don't think you don't. Go and do it. If you really want to do it, you'll do it. Okay. Aishik Chatterjee, pranam neben. Aapne, tumiyo. Ashirwad. And Nitin Krishnan, happy to hear from you on the topic. It was a good session. You see, anybody who is a true tantric is also a Vedantin. And anybody who's a Vedantin is also a yogi. And anybody who's a yogi is also it belongs to every religion in the world. Doesn't belong to any one religion. And sees all of mankind suffering and struggling with all these crutches and religions and gurus and creeds and all that. The true yogi sees past all that, you know. What's the mantra for Ardhanarishwara? It's an initiation. You'll have to take it. Okay. But it's Aim Reem Shreem. Minakshi, thank you. Arlene, Shamon, I want to learn about Vedanta. Yes, I do teach about Vedanta. We've done Mandukya Upanishad, Isha Upanishad on the path, my deep advanced school. You can join the path also, where we do Upanishads in heavy way. How to gain supernatural capacity? Work, meditation, deep surrender. I'm unemployed right now. Oh, stop begging, Anupriya. Go and write to us. We'll see what we can do. Right, Dermot, just give her the support address for Anupriya to write to support and tell us why we should look at a scholarship. Okay, thank you. Thank you, appreciate it. Wow, smile a while. I think yes, both. And Arlene Shamun said good. So I think I'm done for today. I shared some heavy wisdom with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Right. And I bless you. And so Aim Kleem so Kleem Aim Kleem so Kleem Aim, Bhur Bhuva Swaha, Om Digban, Hum Masraya Phat. May the Divine Mother fill your lives with bliss, and may your consciousness expand to your true universal nature. Realize who you are, find your own code, and if you want help, come and join our code and I'll help you along the way. Start with the Kundalini code at the kundalinicode.com or the link that Dermot has posted, and then you can join either the path or the master code in the next month or so. All right, big blessings, everybody. Thank you. God bless. Bye bye.